I'm sure many people on the spiritual path have heard of the concept of twin flames, but have you heard of a monadic split soul twin flame? So today I want to talk about that concept and the concept of karmic twin flames, dharmic twin flames, and split souls. So I want to just kind of share my perspective and what I've kind of learned over the years. This is how I see things. I'm kind of a visual person, so I wanted to share this. So I kind of look at God as source, I kind of look at God as like a sun, and then we split off of source or God, and then the concept of the monadic split soul twin flame is that your original soul aspect is a part of a pair. So that would be the monadic split soul. And then your soul can also be connected to be a fractal of all these other twin flames, which could be karmic and then dharmic. And then your soul can also have split souls of yourself. So that is something that I have not come across myself personally, but I have met my monadic split soul twin flame, which I don't think is common, and I have also met some karmic twin flames. So this concept of split souls from your aspect, your soul, that there could be multiple souls out here. I have heard of this concept from people that do hypnosis sessions, and so I have heard of that and I've read it in a book. But when I first started on my twin flame journey, I'll start from the beginning just to kind of explain how I am where I'm at right now. So I had a Kundalini activation in 2014, and that was through what I believe to be one of these karmic twin flames. So the thing about karmic twin flames is that they're usually very intense, and then, that relationship doesn't go anywhere. But so that's what started me on my journey. So he did activate my Kundalini, and so that's when I started becoming aware of the concept of twin flames. Because, there was so many things that happened because of that connection where he started showing up in my dreams. I didn't really understand anything about that, so it was quite a learning experience. So over the years after that, I started having very intense connections with other people too. And I was very confused because I was under the impression that you only had one twin flame. Now, I know other people have different perspectives and you're entitled to your perspective, but I remember coming across, I think it was Golden Ray Twin Flames or something like that online, and they were talking about how they were starting to meet people that were talking about these very other intense connections as well. And so then I kind of started getting to the understanding and learning about that you can have more than one twin flame. And so you start to have those same types of intense feelings, and you can't stop thinking about them. You have telepathy with them, you have dreams with them, you have all these type of supernatural experiences. So I started having that, and it was the same type of experience, a very intense chemistry, magnetism. You had some of those astral experiences, and then they're gone. And so then fast forward a few years later, I met someone else who I had even more intense connection with. And I just thought, okay, this is bizarre. I just don't understand this. I mean, I've met several people that I've had these very intense connections with, and then I meet somebody else who is actually even more so. So I had a lot more telepathic communication with this individual, and I could feel his energy before we even met. And so I was very confused about this whole concept. And when I actually met him, I was, taken aback at, his energy signature and just how similar we were. So after that connection, again, that's something that, didn't form into a relationship, but we, would keep in touch every once in a while. So then, it was a few years after we met, and I was really just confused because I kept on thinking about him, and I was really like curious. Like, I don't understand why I can't get this person off my mind. I'm sure many of you on your twin flame journey understand that. So I went ahead and booked a reading with a psychic who I had done readings with her in the past. And so when I asked her about this connection, she told me that, you stumbled upon a very rare connection called a monadic, she didn't call it monadic, she called it a split soul twin flame. And so, I was very confused when she said that because I was like, okay, I don't understand, what that was. And so I think the issue is when you do a reading with a psychic, they tell you something and you're kind of confused and you don't have time to think and ask more questions. So I went away from that session, confused, like, wait a minute, he's me. I don't understand. Like, I have another person walking around the earth that is me, So I kind of went through that whole song and dance for a while. And then, I thought when I had heard people in the, regression therapy session, I had read books where they talked about the concept of split souls and how, souls will split themselves in order to learn more along their journey, kind of an expedited way. But it wasn't until later that I understood the concept of the monadic split soul twin flame versus, the kind of split souls that are, that you can have apparently a lot of these. So I was not aware of that when I first met him. So now that I understand that that is a monadic split soul, it's a very different concept than the split souls. So I just wanted to share that. I know it's something that is very interesting to a lot of people, and that is just kind of what I have come to understand at this point in my journey. But I do want to say that over the years, I've kind of come to the conclusion that the names don't really matter, even after I've said all that. What matters is that you have a connection with somebody that's very intense and it is special. But, trying to piece together and understand the names really doesn't matter. Just understand that most of the times, when you do have these intense connections, they're letting you know that you have had past lives with this person and you may have unresolved business. And so that may be why you choose to meet up in this lifetime, because you want to clear some karma from your past. So that's it for today. Make sure to subscribe for more information and spiritual insights. Thanks.